Hello and welcome to the second video about the Procedural Planet asset for Unity. In this video I'll go a little bit more in depth about the Procedural Planet Manager and what it's used for, why it's needed and how it's built up. So this manager component is required to be existing in all the scenes that you plan to use planets in. And by default, when you create it using the prefab or when you add the component, it will instantiate itself as a singleton persistent class, so it will maintain its existence in all scenes and ensure that it's only one instance of it. One of the important jobs of the manager is to act as a blueprint repository. Planets are built up using nearly 100 different properties that can be customized, and if all of those were to be randomized at all times, most of the planets would look really crazy with all sorts of colors and shapes. So by using blueprints, we can control certain types of planets. So for example, a terrestrial planet would be a more Earth-like planet with maybe 50% or more of water on it, and it will have clouds most commonly. Whereas you might have more derelict dark rock planets or desert planets, and those will select materials and colors that are more appropriate for those type of planets. Blueprints can also be configured with a probability. So when a random planet is created, it will look into the probability list and select by randomness planets based on how common they are. So if you wanted to make a terrestrial planet rare, you can drag the slider down, and if you want to make it common, you'll make it higher. And these are in relation to one another, so even if I maximize this one, at the moment it only said 17%, and it's because it's a relation with all these blueprints. So you can configure them as you wish. In the manager, there are a number of tools that you can use for the blueprints. First of all, we could create a custom blueprint, and you do that by creating the solid planet blueprint button. At the moment, the gas planets are not implemented yet. This is the alpha release of the assets, so that will be coming later on. And you can also rename the blueprint either by editing the name here, or as you can see, these are actually added as child components of the manager. So we can name this my first blueprint. And there are also a number of shortcuts. You can edit the blueprint, and you can create a planet from this very blueprint, and you can also delete it here and also set the probability. If I click the edit button, basically all it does, it's actually highlights it's the same as clicking on this object here, so it's just a shortcut. As I mentioned earlier, planets consists of nearly 100 different properties that can be customized. And I'll go more into depth with blueprints in a later video, but I just want to mention anyway that a blueprint consists of these range sliders. And you can set, for example, that continents should only be within this particular range. Liquid level, as I mentioned on a terrestrial planet, maybe you want to ensure that it's always 50% or more. And you might want to say that the atmosphere should always be in a blue color with slight deviation in the hue, or slight bigger variations in the brightness range. So this blueprint will set ranges for all of these parameters, or the properties that the planets will be used when created. And this is, I'd say that it's more or less essential, because if you had everything totally random, most planets would look really weird. So I'll talk more about the blueprints in a later video. Let's go back to the manager now. Let's move on to the procedural materials section. You won't need to do anything in here, but you should be aware that it exists. So in this case, the solid planets are actually built up using a multiple number of textures. So this is not just a single texture that you see on the screen. Underneath here, there are arrays that the randomness will look for. So if you create a terrestrial planet, it will most likely select this composition of solid terrestrial, if the blueprint is configured with that. And the composition map is basically just how different biomes or surface types of a planet are blended together. As you can see here, there are some cracks and some shapes that go through the planet between this darker area and this brighter type. And that's controlled by this composition map, how these are blended together. Also, we have the biome materials, and biomes are the actual surfaces. So not how they're combined feature-wise, but the actual surface that you see here. And these can be expanded in the future. At the moment, there are a number of them. So for example, you have surface types like dust, desert, forest, ice, and tundra and savanna. And all the planets are made up using 2 different biomes that are mixed in a random way. So you might have a lot of one and less of the other. So maybe a lot of desert, a little forest, or the other way around. Within these procedural materials, there are a lot of customizable parameters as well. So a desert material will have multiple different types of looks by using different sliders, like setting the contrast and the colorization and craters or sand dunes. So that should also be something to be aware of, that this is not just a static texture. Each material here contains a lot of different parameters that the asset will use for customization. So there are 2 different biomes, and there's also a cloud repository. Planets can be wrapped around with clouds, and so it looks for these materials. And you'll have night cities, which is on the dark side of the planet. You can have city lights showing up, and then for lava planets, and you also have polar ice. So just be aware that these exist, and you won't need to do anything here. Another important thing to know here is that if you make any changes in here, the order of them, if you remove them or whatever you do, that will affect any planets that you've created using random seed. Because the random seed engine will look into these arrays and pick number 3, for example, here. So if you arrange these orders differently, the random engine will go in here and pick the 3rd one, and maybe it's forest instead of savanna if you've changed them around. So you shouldn't really touch anything here. For the alpha release, there are no gas planet materials. Those will come later on. And there's also only 1 ring material, but again, that one can be customized with how the rings appear, so only 1 is needed for now. Finally, in the manager, we have texture settings, where you have different resolutions, because the resolutions can be set independently for these. So the composition map and the cloud maps are usually the ones that you want to keep higher than the other ones, because the composition and cloud maps, they don't tile as often around the planet. Whereas the biome, especially, that can be much more frequently tiled around the planet for greater details when you get close, because you will avoid having it looking too repetitive because it blends itself with the composition map. So for example, let's change. As you can see, if I lower the resolution here to 128, you'll see that it's much lower quality here. And we can go as far down as 16. That might actually work if you make a planet which is only going to be displayed as a very small object on a screen, like this, for example. Maybe you're making an RPG or a space traveler game where you cruise like a tile map or something like that. Maybe that resolution is fine for you. For now, let's reset them back to their default values. The resolution will impact how long it takes to create the planet textures. In addition to what you see here, the Procedural Planet Manager has more jobs in the background as well. When you import and export planets, or when you create planets from scripts, it will actually call methods within the manager to create the planets and manage them. And there are also a number of behind-the-scenes methods that the planets use themselves, and that's for texture creation. The manager is responsible for creating all the planet textures and allocating them back as copies to the planet. And that I will explain more in the architecture video about how the inner works of the Procedural Planets asset works. So that concludes the manager overview. In the next video, we'll look more at planet customization.